Alright, so these are all the goodies I got from Handheld Legend. I got some new button membranes. Specifically, I ordered these because I needed that, and it comes with the I also ordered the the battery cover that's prepped for USB. So I ordered that. This must be the screen. That stuff was very expensive. So there's that. And a new shell. And the shell came with the normal battery cover. The volume, it does not come with a power switch, which kind of sucks, but or a volume switch, which kind of, I know that's these have a wheel. I'm thinking of I've already broke it. Already broke it, man. So anyways, I'll figure that out after a while. And that's it. So let's get this disassembled. All right. The board is out. Let's open up this package very carefully. So this is the screen. Here's a wire. Okay, there's quite a few wires in here. Let's set that down right there. Uh-oh. Good. All right. Okay, so it looks like I need to solder some wires because there's the 3 pads right here. Left, right, and select and ground. There's 4 pads, but there's 3 wires. Let me go figure out where I'm supposed to solder these things to. And how do you oh, I get it. There's 2 ribbon cables because one is for a 32 pin. One would be for a 32 pin. So it would be, is this a 32 pin one? So yeah, that would go in there like that. And then it would fold under and go into that. So it would sit just like that. So, all right, I am going to give this thing a dry test real quick. They say to make sure it works before installing. So that is what I'm going to do. So I've got power hooked up. I'm going to let me cut on my power supply. All right, let's switch it on and see what happens. Oh my word, dude, look at that. Oh, that's nice, man. Okay, we know it works. before we actually get into installing this thing, let's talk real quick about my USB-C modification that I had made. So this works fine, but you'll notice that this is the new shell, and notice what doesn't happen. It doesn't fit. So yeah, so you're going to either have to trim the shell to make this fit in here, or you're going to have to find a smaller battery. But we know this works. I was just doing it as an experiment. But anyhow, you can always order the pre-made drop-in battery packs that you can charge via USB. So this doesn't work. So I had to solder back some battery terminals to the console until I can figure out a different way to do this. But the one thing I wanted to point out about this thing is this is based off of, I think it's called the TP4056, and essentially all it is just a battery charger. This chip right here charges the battery. But here's the problem you run into. So the output of this chip is like 3.8 volts, 3.9 volts. No, it was 4.1. Yeah, the output of this chip is 4.1 volts when you have a USB-C cable plugged in. So if you have 4.1 volts, this is a very inefficient way to drop the voltage. Two diodes in series. They do drop the voltage by about a volt, but you're still putting anywhere between 3.6 and 3.5 volts or something like that into the Gameboy. So ideally what you would want to have is a 3 volt, what do they call it? LDO, right? Linear dropout. So if you had a 3 volt LDO, then it would just always output 3 volts, regardless of how much input voltage you had coming in. But another thing that I was concerned about using this is the fact that the output of this board is tied to the battery input of this board. So when you plug in a USB-C, it's outputting 4.1 volts and it's charging this battery. So if the only thing plugged into this board was this battery, then the battery would at some point, I guess, reach its max charge, and you'd be done. But if you have this connected to a Game Boy, and let's just say you're playing the Game Boy while you have the USB-C cable plugged in, then what you end up with is this thing's always going to be outputting current to the Game Boy. And maybe the battery's smart enough to say, okay, I don't want any more. But I don't know if that's a safe thing to do. So I would use these with caution. Maybe monitor them under a thermal cam or something to see. But unfortunately, but you could fix that. You could fix that by easily taking the output from a 3 volt LDO. I think that would then segregate the battery circuit from the output of the TP4056 chip. Anyhow, I'm not an engineer, so I don't fully understand all things about this, but I don't know that it's completely safe to do. I just hate for a battery to blow up, anyhow. So we can't use that anyways because the case isn't big enough to support it. I would have used it, but the case isn't big enough to support it. So all right, so left, right, and select are where we have to solder our wires to. So let's do this under the microscope so you can see what we're doing. Left, right, and select. So we are going to take our soldering iron and we're going to try to put a very small dot of solder on And now we are going to solder our wires to those pads. After I've soldered the wires, I'm just going to take, and I've got everything kind of tucked in so that I can do this like so. And then you take the one end and you would put it in there like that. I want to make sure I'm doing it right before I start peeling off the sticky stuff. All right, so I am going to pull all these out, make sure they all fit in there smoothly. And then I'm going to peel the adhesive strip thing off of we are going to put this in here. We're going to slide it to the left and push it up. That was very easy. Everything's nice and neat in there. That was very easy, y'all. I guess that's what happens when you buy a shell mint for this. All right, so the next step, man, dude, that is smooth, bro. That is smooth. All right, so the next step is we need to solder these wires. So, where's my board? We have to find TP2, TP8, and TP9. TP2 is where? Where is TP2? TP2 is right here. TP8 I need to put on my see better glasses. All right, so TP9 is right here. TP2 is right here. And then TP8 is right here. Let's see. I'm not sure I got this one. I think it's gone. I think TP2 might be gone. Yeah, it's gone. Is there another? Oh, come on, bro. This just became more difficult. Where does TP2 go? TP2 used to go. It goes to the select button. That's where it goes. But I can't find another viable place where TP2 goes. I imagine it goes to the processor, but I'm not soldering it to one of the legs of the processor. I wonder if, like, you lose that pad, does it, like, mess up the select button completely? I don't know. Where's TP2 at? Something as easy as this mod I have made difficult. So we are gonna attempt to put some solder on that wire. Because TP2 goes to pin 126 of the CPU. And there is zero continuity between that point that I'm trying to solder to now and the select button. It's a dead short. So if I can get a piece of wire, right, select solder, so right goes to TP8, which I can't remember where TP8 was at. It's TP8, so right goes to TP8. And then left goes to TP9, which is right here. So let's try to solder with my left hand. Right, TP9 and soldered. I am still a little worried about that. That's holding pretty good though. All right, so this is where we're at. Now we need to do our little fingerprint thing, or whatever those are called. Like that. All right, so it is in. I don't believe there are any wires. Wait. All right, I don't see any wires that could be pinched. So I ended up putting the screws in, but I had to be very, very careful because there are no screw holes in these shells. So you have to essentially make your own. It is, I haven't put all the screws in, but I put enough to handle it. Look at that, man. That is snazzy. Oh, nice and tight. Does it still cut on? It does. Does it still read the game? Okay. Let's try to remove this sticker so we can see it in all its glory. Look at that, bro. That is outstanding. Look at that, dude. If I hold my finger here, what happens? Nothing. I hold my finger here, what happens? Oh, it changes color. I don't like it. How do you get back to the default? There we go. That's the default. Thought that was, oh, that's brightness. That is beautiful, man. Doesn't matter which way you look at it either. You can still see. You know, I'm sitting here playing the game and you guys can't even see. All right, that's it for this one, man. Y'all be good.